We are back on MorningLine. Thanks for joining us. Real estate broker Gabriela Lira is with us this morning. We're taking your phone calls, questions about the market here and the interest rates going up. We're just talking a question during the break about folks who maybe build a home or something along those lines. They get a construction loan initially, right? Does that then transition into a mortgage? And will the interest rates and the costs change? Are there special issues that come into play if you build?
That's right. So at the end, you have to transition into a conventional loan, perhaps, and interest rates now are much higher than when you first started planning.
Bingo. Okay, meaning that it might be higher than what it was for the construction loan. It's not the same. It just doesn't transition. So what you may have planned for when you started building, all of a sudden you get into the mortgage and you're paying a lot more.
That's right. And I hope that those people are still able to afford this beautiful house that they've spent months building.
Man, it's crazy because that's what I did 2 years ago, and it worked out, of course, before all this. I didn't even consider that possibility. So that dream home you might be building now, if you're not prepared, you know, it's going to cost you more. Well, it will. It will cost you more, which raises the question of properties in general or land. I don't know if you deal with that. If someone finds a lot that they'd like to buy as opposed to just a house, are there many lots, first in Davidson or in general? Nice land, is that as hard to find as a nice house?
Very difficult. And now when you're thinking about land, you're competing with builders who are also looking for land because that's their livelihood.
So you might make the argument then that the inventory for nice pieces of land that are perked and ready to go or in a city area and ready to go are harder to find than homes.
To some extent they are, especially in certain counties, Davidson County being your prime example. Okay,
so just finding lots, and I didn't think about that. You're right, you have to compete with builders too, because they find that, they build, and they turn around and sell that. That's how they make their money. Let's take another phone call. I think we have Melissa. Melissa, good morning. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I just wanted to tell you about a little experience I had. When I bought my current place, I did not use an agent, but of course the property seller had an agent. And I learned, well, this is probably common sense, but you should always read your contract, particularly those who are buying, because sometimes unscrupulous agents will try to change things in that contract that would more favor that commission. Because what happened in my case, I agreed to a certain price and the seller agreed to pay a certain amount towards closing costs. But I think because I sort of came right as the house was listed, and there was only been maybe one or two other people who came, and I wanted it like right away. And the seller wanted to move quickly too because they were buying a new property somewhere that perhaps they didn't get as good of a deal as they might have if they waited a little longer. So the agent was trying to change the terms so that the deal would be better. And if I had not read my contract, I would not have caught him. On 2 different occasions, he did that. And I thought, you know, you got to be careful about these agents too, because some of them are just unscrupulous and know the law regarding real estate agents, so you can report them as necessary. You can call them brokers, but sometimes the brokers are crooked too.
So he tried to go back in and change what his commission would have been.
He went in and tried to change the amount the amount that the sellers would pay. He tried to lower it. He tried to lower the amount that the sellers agreed to pay, so then I would pay more.
I understand.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Hey, listen for the cautionary. Listen, I appreciate it. Gabrielle, what do you understand about that? It's just.
So here's the thing. I deal with these contracts every single day. I have been for over a decade. I am an expert. I help people buy and sell over 50 homes a year. And so if you don't do this every day, my recommendation, if you are buying, is please find yourself a good agent to represent you on the buy side. Some buyers think, well, I'll get the home because then the seller has to pay less. That's not always the case because commissions in the state of Tennessee are negotiable, but the listing agent negotiates the commission rate with the seller up front. And sure, they might say, if an unrepresented buyer comes in, instead of getting my 3%, then you give me 4%. Which could be the case, but that percentage won't be enough to really make a difference in the net of the seller most of the time. So bring yourself representation if you don't know. I mean, I even have attorneys. I have many attorney clients who come to me because sure, they read contracts all day long, but not necessarily a real estate contract that has nuances. And that is incredibly unethical. Someone trying to go in and change the seller contributions after the fact.
Typically, what are commissions? What is the range? You said they can be negotiable. I don't know what yours are. What is the range, and does it vary that much?
There is a range, and like I said, commissions in the state of Tennessee are negotiable. I have to say that because otherwise I'll get in trouble. But typically, you see a 6% commission rate on the sell side, and then the listing agent agrees to split that amount with whoever brings the buyer.
Okay, so that they each could end up with 3%
That's
of
right.
whatever the sale of the home is. How do you go about then finding, what would you recommend, a reputable agent? Referrals? Are there places you can check?
One, you should call me. Two, yes, referrals is the next best way. And the internet, we have the power of the internet now. So you could go in, you can Google, you see agent reviews online. So you can shop around for an agent, interview 2 or 3 agents and see who you like best. Yeah,
sometimes it's as important as having an agent that you feel comfortable with, just that you click with personality-wise maybe.
Yes.
Also, knowing that they're, I have this image of like maybe very powerful, busy agents who you might go to them because they're successful, but they're so busy you wonder if they're even going to return your calls. I want an agent that's going to be responsive. Number one, based on this last caller from Melissa, what I would like is an agent who is honest. That's the most important thing.
Yes.
But then after that, I want someone that returns my calls, is proactive, answers my stupid questions, and is always there.
Yeah, education is a huge component of representation for us. So I agree 100%. And look at the reviews. Read the things that people have to say. Is communication something that comes up a lot? Oh, I felt like I was her only client, even though I know she's very successful. Ha ha ha, is one of the things that my clients constantly write about me because for good or bad, I pick up the phone. I return those emails. I am a great communicator.
You like it.
I love my job.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, I'm thinking there's some people that go into real estate thinking I can make good money if I'm successful at it and something I can jump in and do. And anyone who thinks it's easy is wrong. But I think they're in it, and like a lot of businesses, because it's a job and they're going to make money. And that's fine, but they're not going to be passionate about it, is what I'm guessing. It's kind of like me in the news business. There's people in the biz for different reasons. I enjoy it. I like it. And I think that's what makes me good at it. I can tell that you like it.
Oh, I love it.
You don't mind getting a call on a Saturday night at 8 when you're home with the kids and someone says, I really want to see this house tonight?
No, and all my friends and family, they understand that if we're out to dinner, my phone is going to be at the table.
Yeah.
Now, for most people, this will be extremely rude. Some spouses might divorce you for this. Thank you, honey, for not divorcing me yet. But if I'm in the middle of negotiating a deal and I have to look at my phone and step away, that is what I need to do to get the deal done for the best interest of my client. Imagine if my client lost out on a house because I didn't pick up the phone when I needed to.
Right.
That would be absolutely awful.
So the truth is, in real estate, if you're good at your job, you're on call pretty much 24/7.
Pretty much. I do go to bed at 10, guys.
Okay, let's go to Maggie. Maggie, good morning. Hi, Maggie.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
I have a couple of things to say. I'm kind of, in a way, glad the interest rates have gone up, so I quit getting these phone calls. People wanting to buy my home.
Yeah.
Because they can't pay me enough to buy another home in Nashville. Also, before you buy one of these homes at exorbitant prices, pay to have your own home inspection
Yes.
done. Do not buy a house sight unseen. You don't know what kind of problems you're buying. I know a house across the street from me, which is the same as my house, sold for, they asked $400,000, sold for $444,000. I had my house appraised. It's $370,000. I feel sorry for young people who cannot afford to buy a home now. I bought my first home when I was 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
And, of course, that was 43 years ago, so that's kind of telling my age. But
Well,
I know when my husband and I bought this house, we must have looked at 60 different houses, but that was a different market. That was in 2006, just before the bubble broke. But I would advise all of the people to pay for your own home inspection. Don't trust the seller's home inspection, because that guy's going to
yeah.
do what the seller wants. He's not looking out for you. He's looking out for them.
Maggie, thank you. I mean, she's right on point. What do you recommend when it comes to inspections? Because I know in some of these really competitive times, I was reading about folks saying, look, I'm buying it as is, no problem, no inspection, I'm coming in, rolling, and paying that kind of money. But they want the location so bad, they recognize they could discover termites and they could be in a mess.
Right.
But that was happening. So what are you telling folks?
So it was so right about something, and that was that this is a good thing.
Yes.
Like interest rates going up, it's such a good thing. Think about this. We are used to this very chaotic market with the lowest interest rates in the history of time.
Yeah.
And we forget what normal is.
Right.
Right?
I
So
agree.
normal is for your house to be on the market for a month. Normal is for you to have to fix up your home before putting it on the market. Right? And she said normal is getting a home inspection when you buy a house. Being able to do that when the market was so competitive, people were waiving their home inspection contingencies. They were saying, I don't care, I just need this house because my offer's been rejected 10 other times and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I'm just
give me this
roll
house.
the dice. Roll the dice. Yeah.
So much risk in that. So now that the market has shifted, we are going to see terms go back to normal, which means that buyers will be able to have an inspection contingency.
I agree with you. I mean, maybe not every aspect in the economy, it's always a good thing, but certainly when it comes to real estate especially, because let's face it, I mean, it was out of control. The interest rates going up, it's a good thing. It is a good thing on a lot of fronts. It's interesting to hear you say that. I agree. We'll take a break on that note. When we come back, we'll take some more phone calls. Our final segment with our guest right after this.